DeAndre Hopkins, he is in the trade mill. Whether the Cardinals move off of him or not, we do know that the Arizona Cardinals are potentially shopping him. And I hate to see this because I loved it when DeAndre Hopkins came over. Kyler Murray was clearly taking some steps with him. Kyler never really feel like, like, of course he did have that MVP season under him, but he never really took that leap and had as much production as I would have liked to see, obviously, with DeAndre Hopkins there. But without further ado, let's talk about a good bit of teams here in the league. I'm not going to say a good bit, but some teams here, obviously. I want to make sure because I feel like I am just clipping right now. Let's knock this mic gain down just a little bit. There we go. Just want to pick back up for some reason. Let's see. Knock it down some more. Let's see. Is it going to bring it back up? What are we going to do here? You going to let me control you? You're going to control me. Y'all just let me know if the audio is too bad. I feel like I'm clipping my ears off, so I don't want to be hurting anyone else. But all right. So the team is going to be the Buffalo Bills for DeAndre Hopkins. And we know that Stephon Diggs is there. No question about that. He's a wide receiver one. And whether you want to say so or not, it looks like he continues to get better every single season with the yards, obviously, with the catches, with the touchdowns. He's always going to be due for what it seems like double-digit touchdowns in a season. But I do feel like, right now with Stephon Diggs, and again, the numbers are supporting it, but Josh Allen needs, I just feel like, one extra offensive player to really help get them over that hump. And I mentioned it, in the short that I posted, or the reel that I posted before we went live. They need to make a move, whether it's a running back, whether it's a splash right here with DeAndre Hopkins. And I have respect for Gabe Davis. I have respect for Isaiah McKenzie. But at the end of the day, I think they truly are wide receiver 2 or 3s at best. You bring in a D-Hop, and some people might not agree that maybe it's going to be too much for, 2 number 1 receivers to be on a team. But I feel like if you're really looking to take that leap, and I think running back would be a better option, but you wouldn't go wrong with DeAndre Hopkins here, no question about it. This is another big play, sharp route running, best hands in the league type of receiver for Josh Allen, and it wouldn't hurt. He'd be another veteran in the house. And I think him and Diggs would be able to balance evenly. Yes, could we have some games to where Diggs or Hopkins aren't getting the looks they want? Of course. But I think they're both in it for the bigger picture. I know both of these guys, are going to go down as legends. They want to be able to obviously have a ring, and I think this would be a great move here for the Buffalo Bills. The Jaguars would be another awesome spot for DeAndre Hopkins as well. And when you look at Calvin Ridley is going to be coming back from suspension this year. Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson clearly had some gelling, some mending that they did in the season, and Trevor Lawrence looked great. Believe it or not, from week 9 on, only Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow graded higher than Trevor Lawrence for Pro Football Focus quarterback grades. And that was in Trevor Lawrence's second year as a starter. 1 year removed, obviously, from the horrible Urban Meyer experiment. So he had a lot of things to shake off. Clearly came in this season and did his thing. DeAndre Hopkins, clearly, again, 10-year veteran. He would make Trevor Lawrence, I feel like, in his third year, look elite in the NFL. Christian Kirk, solid wide receiver 3. I have a lot of respect for him. He's not really a guy that I feel like gets a lot of respect. And, of course, he's not going to be a dude out here commanding the defense and, putting up 1,300 yards a season. But he is very respectable, and I liked him a lot out there in Arizona. This is the youngest roster in the NFL as well. I think they're about an average of 25 or 26 years old, talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars. So again, veteran presence would be absolutely welcomed. You look on the defensive side of the ball. They were okay, right? They've got some names that they look forward to. But of course, in terms of the offensive side, well, really, I mentioned the defensive side to, kind of complement the entirety of the team. But DeAndre Hopkins, nonetheless, would be absolutely great to the Jacksonville Jaguars as well. Want to make sure I'm staying up to date on the chat. Audio's good. Thanks so much, Darby. I can always count on you, man. Now, DeAndre Hopkins to the Ravens could be another nice possibility as well. Of course, they have to keep Lamar Jackson to make this something that would be even entertainable or for even anybody to listen to this take here. But this would give Lamar Jackson, again, an actual, for the first time in his career, yes, I know there's been Mark Andrews. Yes, I know there's been Hollywood Brown, but Hollywood Brown was so hit or miss. Mark Andrews, obviously, if you blanket him, where do the Ravens go? Kind of having some of that running back unhealthiness, in the room the last few years. So bringing in DeAndre Hopkins, again, a big play, sharp route running, just over the top guy that could really, really benefit the Ravens here. I think he has the best hands in the league, by the way. The Hollywood Brown days weren't necessarily the nicest. Like I said, they looked good at times, but it did feel very inconsistent. And this would be the very first time that Lamar Jackson would be able to have an elite wide receiver 1. Maybe you start those talks with DeAndre Hopkins early on so you can kind of incentivize Lamar to come back. I don't think Lamar wants to leave, But nonetheless, I would love to see this combo in the NFL, no doubt about it. Of course, an obvious one would be DeAndre Hopkins to the Kansas City Chiefs as well. I mean, Mahomes to D-Hop, need I say more, literally. Everyone would be tripping out if this trade absolutely happened, and everyone was tripping out when I was saying that Kadarius Toney is not a wide receiver one, but I mean, he just isn't. I think he was a reach in the draft. Yeah, he was solid at Florida, but we've seen the temper with him. Played good in the Super Bowl. Clearly, he's a champion now. Clearly, he had a couple of big plays, but I just don't believe Kadarius Toney is a wide receiver one. We know Travis Kelce is the focal point of the Chiefs offense. And DeAndre Hopkins, I just think, would be insane with an Andy Reid, with a Patrick Mahomes at their disposal, be able to work around him. And I feel like you could use him in that offense. You could use DeAndre Hopkins in any fashion, run a go route, run a curl, run an in, run a drag route, whatever you would want. Hell, even have D-Hop block. He's got the size, right? But DeAndre Hopkins, again, with Patrick Mahomes, need I say more. And then the last team that I'm going to go with here is the Green Bay Packers. And this is kind of like the Ravens. This is a big if the Packers keep Aaron Rodgers, if Aaron Rodgers wants to still be in Green Bay, which some people think he is. You can't turn down the 50 to 60 million that A-Rod is going to be looking at next year. But Aaron Rodgers to DeAndre Hopkins, I think, would be disgusting as well. That would really feel like a Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers 2.0 kind of matchup here. Same type of receiver. And again, I feel like that would incentivize Aaron Rodgers to come back to Green Bay with a 10-year veteran alongside Christian Watson, who clearly came around last season. Romeo Doubs took him a little bit to gel in there, but I could just see a really nice wide receiving core there. Again, with Aaron Rodgers throwing to them, it's always going to be a good day and a good outing. And just giving him a weapon, catering to Aaron Rodgers. We know that this is what Aaron Rodgers needs. And I'm not going to sit here and go on about A-Rod and say that he's this needy guy, but giving him someone like that. Look, Devontae Adams just got out of town and still put up almost 15 touchdowns and 1,500 yards with Derek Carr and a very, very shaky Raiders team. Bringing in a DeAndre Hopkins, like I say that to say Aaron Rodgers misses that. He wants that. I know he didn't want Devontae Adams to leave. There's no question about that. So being able to bring in a DeAndre Hopkins, to me, they're kind of the same receiver. Like, I would give D-Hop the hands over Devontae, but I would give Devontae the speed and obviously the route running over D-Hop. But I mean, I would take either one on a coin flip any day. And I know Aaron Rodgers would as well, and want to call him back also. Excuse me. Appreciate everyone that's in the show tonight. We're about 9 minutes in, and those are going to be my DeAndre Hopkins landing spots. Now, he does have a no trade clause, which could be a little bit risky, unfortunately. But at the end of the day, DeAndre Hopkins will more than likely not be an Arizona Cardinal. And I just realized I didn't even put the graphic up. So just to show everybody, that was the graphic there. It'll be easier on TikTok when I'm not cutting it. But either way, that was DeAndre Hopkins trade destinations. We'll go back through it real quick. The Bills would be great next to Stephon Diggs. I got respect for Davis and Isaiah McKenzie, but D-Hop is D-Hop. Josh Allen would love that. The Jaguars next to Calvin Ridley. Christian Kirk is there. Even Evan Ingram. Clearly Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson gelled. The Ravens, again, they would have to keep Lamar Jackson, but that would be major to give Lamar his very first ever wide receiver one in his career. The Chiefs, Mahomes to D-Hop, need I say more. And then the Packers, it would really feel like an Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams 2.0. I don't know if it would be as good, but there would be a lot of similarities and comparisons with it early and often. DeAndre Hopkins landing spots. Let me know what you think. Get in the comments. Do you think he's going to leave? Where is he going to go? Where do you want to see him go?